Before we get into how to send messages, we have to take a second and talk about permission. In marketing, permission is all about making sure that the people you're sending messages to actually want to receive them and hear from you. People who send messages without permission are called spammers, and spammers aren't allowed to use Ontraport. Even if spammers were allowed to use Ontraport, the marketing world makes it really hard to keep it up for very long. Their emails get blocked and their SMS numbers get shut down super quickly, and in fact, there are some really expensive fines for messing with SMS without permission. So let's make sure you do things right, and I'm going to show you how in this video. The good news here is that Ontraport has given you some tools to help you make sure that you're only sending emails and texts to people who want to get them. In every contact record, you'll see two different fields. First is the bulk email status, and the second is the bulk SMS status. Each of these different fields has a few different statuses, and I'm going to talk through what they mean and how to change them. In general, though, Ontraport won't send broadcast or automated messages to any contact who hasn't opted in or who's opted out or unsubscribed. However, things can get a little more complicated, particularly with email. And it's really important that you know how it works to avoid inadvertently becoming a spammer. With SMS messages, things are pretty simple. They're either in or they're out. But with emails, there are actually several different options and statuses. First, you might see a status as pending review. Now, this can happen sometimes if you import lists into Ontraport. We have automated systems that scan your list looking for red flags, and if it finds one, it'll send your list to our postmasters for a manual review. This can end up taking a day or two, though we try to be pretty quick about it during the work week. During that time, your contacts will have the pending review status. And while they're pending review, you won't be able to send them broadcasts or automated messages. But once they're approved, their status will change to single opt-in. The status unconfirmed is an email address that you added manually, and where the contact hasn't opted in themselves to receive bulk email from you. You can send these people one-on-one emails, but you can't put them into broadcast messages or into automated emails. The single opt-in status refers to a contact who's filled out a form or otherwise given you permission to be mailed. You can send email to these people at will. The double opt-in status is just like single opt-in, but they've gone a step further and clicked the confirmation link in an email that you sent them after they subscribed. This assures that the person who filled out the form is actually the owner of the email address and not some spammer filling out random email addresses into your forms. A hard bounce means that we did email them in the past and got a notice that the address is no good, so we won't be mailing them again after that. And finally, we have transactional only. This means that someone has requested to not get marketing emails from you, but you'll still be allowed to send them transactional emails. Transactional emails are specifically about the delivery of a product, such as login credentials for a membership site, a receipt, or an invoice, shipping information, etc. You can tell us that an email is transactional by checking the transactional box in the editor. Note that these emails are subject to review, and any marketing messages or promotions found in them will disqualify the email from being considered transactional. And a couple strikes on this, and our postmasters will be forced to remove the transactional email feature from your account. So please use with caution. Okay, now that you have a grasp on all the statuses, let's switch gears to opting in. Since we know it's important to get permission from our prospects and customers to mail them, let's go over how you get that permission. With SMS, there are two ways your contact can provide you with that permission. They can fill out their SMS number on a form, or they can send you a text from their phone. If either of these things happens, they're opted in. When people opt in for text messaging, it's a really good idea, and actually required in some places, to send them an opt-in confirmation message that tells them how to opt out. Something like, "Welcome to the list, you'll get daily tips on pet grooming and training directly from me," and to unsubscribe, just reply with "stop" and we'll stop. If you start to get complaints about your texts, this initial message may be required by our team or by our SMS delivery partner, Twilio. To opt in to receive email, they need to fill out a form with their email address. You can also import lists from other services and confirm to us that everyone on your list did opt in. And our postmasters will have some questions for you and do a review and opt in your list. There's actually one more way people can get opted in, and that's via the API. But by default, we do not opt in emails or SMS numbers for contacts who are added by the API. However, you can contact our support team and go through a brief vetting process to get permission to add opted in contacts via the API. It's also good to understand how contacts can opt out of your permission-based list. In emails, they can do that by clicking on the unsubscribe link that we add to the bottom of your emails. In text, they can reply with "stop" or "unsubscribe," and we'll opt them out automatically. This way, you never have to worry about accidentally emailing or texting someone illegally. Okay, now that you understand how permission works in Ontraport and how not to be a spammer, let's talk about sending some messages.